Yo, what's going on, guys? Welcome back to another episode of Georgia Sports Nation. We got some more Hawks and Braves content on tap for you guys tonight. We're going to be discussing the Pirates series. The Braves split the series up in Pittsburgh, 2 games apiece, and overall, not the expected outcome of that series or the wanted outcome if you're a Braves fan, splitting a 4 game set with the Pirates, who are not the best team in the league or not up to the Braves standards. But ultimately, it was what it was. The pitching didn't really live up to its standards, especially the starting pitching. The bullpen wasn't perfect, but it was still pretty decent, and it was good enough to win some games. But our starting pitching really faltered. We're going to be going into that in a lot of detail tonight. Also previewing the Mets series starting tonight. We have a series up in Queens with a span of 4 games in 3 days with a doubleheader tomorrow. So huge series with the Mets. And while it's not going to be a series that's going to shake the standings in any way with the Mets and Braves directly, we also have 3 games, no off day, with the Yankees coming home after this Mets series. So this series right here is going to be key to getting back and finishing off this stretch of games where the Braves have not had an off day in a long time. So it's really going to be important for these guys to win the series, get back to the Truist Park in the right tone, and get off to the series with the Yankees with a good start. So without further ado, let's get into this Pirate series in more detail. So up in Pittsburgh, we saw all of our starting pitchers not have a great showing. You had Spencer Strider chased after not completing 4 innings. You had Orlando Arcia's double and Kevin Pillar's 9th-inning heroics to lift the Braves' win over the Pirates in the second game. And when the Braves spent the majority of that game down, David Bednar's first blown save in a long time came in that second game of the series with Arcia and Kevin Pillar's heroics. In the third game, you had Michael Harris scoring on a bang-bang play at the plate when the second baseman chose to get the ball instead of the right fielder on the sacrifice fly from Austin Riley. We're going to talk about that play in great detail when we get to that game a little later. And in the fourth game, you had the Pirates score 7 runs again. In each game of this series, the Pirates had 5 runs or more. So that just shows you with the starting pitching, it wasn't where it needed to be. Every single guy struggled there, and we're going to talk a lot about that. Here we go. All right. In the first game, we had Spencer Strider on the mound, and you really didn't think Spencer Strider was going to have an off day against the Pittsburgh Pirates, but it did. Leover Peguero, who had a great series, he had 2 hits in a 6-run third inning, and basically that 1 inning had Spencer Strider just on the ropes. That was the only reason really that he left the game, as we had some technical lagging there. Okay, there we go. All right, we're back. So yeah, Spencer Strider, he really had a bad third inning, and he was cruising for the first 2, and that happened to Chirinos and Max Fried as well in this series. So when you have Connor Joe, when you have Leover Peguero getting homers off Spencer Strider in the third inning, you start to have a little bit of a concern because you've got a great pitcher in Strider who has been throwing the ball really well over his past few starts. Probably, I want to say 8 out of his last 10 or 11 starts have been great starts. And then you throw this against the Pirates, which I'm not concerned about Strider. I saw some fans overreacting, in my opinion, saying that, wow, we can't even trust Strider in the playoffs. We're going to have Max Fried, who also had a bad start in this series, and then all the rest of the guys we can't trust. We can't trust Elder. We can't trust Morton. We can't trust Strider. And I think that's a bunch of malarkey, to be honest. You've got Bryce Elder, who's had an incredible season. Yes, after that start against the Tampa Bay Rays to right before the All-Star break, he really struggled. He struggled in most of his starts since then. But he's had a great year overall, and nothing's going to sit there to tell me, say, he's just going to give up, 5 runs in 2 innings in the postseason. The way he has overcome adversity, especially this year, when he hasn't ever had a full-time starting job in the major leagues and is an all-star in his first year with getting the ball every 5th day. I mean, to me, that shows that he's got a lot of poise. He's ready to take the next step up. Charlie Morton has had a good year. He'll give up his fair share of homers, sure, and he did in this series. But in most of his starts, he's going to get into that 5th, 6th inning. And then Spencer Strider, we don't know how he pitches in the postseason. I was arguing with a couple of Braves fans a couple of days ago saying that we don't know how Spencer Strider pitches in the postseason yet. When he pitched against the Phillies last year, his oblique was still not fully healed. And I've said this multiple times on this show. He gets a ton of that velocity from his lower body. He's not a bodybuilder per se in his upper body. He's not one of those guys that's going to use their arm and their upper body to get most of their velocity. That's all coming from his lower body. And with your oblique, that you're not going to have a full strength in your lower body. And that's exactly what Spencer Strider did. We've said it multiple times. That fastball that Rhys Hoskins hit out to left field for that home run, for that 3-run home run in the playoff series last year, was Spencer Strider's lowest career mile per hour fastball. The slowest pitch of his career in terms of fastballs in the major leagues. That, I'm sure, that had something to do with it. So I think he's going to be okay overall. But the Braves' offense in this series, they try to keep these guys in the games. Michael Harris continues to be on a tear. I think it was on the broadcast yesterday when Jeff Francoeur and Brandon Goddard were mentioning Stan Musial, Mickey Mantle, and I think there was one other guy who started batting less than 200 after over 2 months of the season, and they got to 300. Michael Harris has a real chance to do that. I mean, when you factor in the struggles that he had in the first 2 months, and now look at him, he's batting 283. He's got some ways to go to 400. He really does. Well, actually, this is the first game, so I think he's raised his average more than he's at 292 now after the 4th game of the Pirates series. So 8 points to go, and if you see him get to 300 when he faced all that adversity in the first couple months of the season, that shows some serious respect for work ethic and the firepower that these guys have to want to get better. Not only just stay in the major leagues, but get better. Because that's when you win Rookie of the Year, you're on top of a mountain. You know that every one of your peers, they want to have the success that you had because you were able to get that Rookie of the Year award. Now, in your sophomore season, the term sophomore slump comes up. Michael Harris began that for 2 straight months to begin the season. Look at him now, 292 average, and he's one of the hottest hitting players in baseball right now. So huge, absolutely huge series for him and the Braves offense overall. In the first game, you had Ronald Acuna go 0-for-5, which doesn't necessarily happen every time. But when it does, and the Braves still score 6 runs, that really shows you the power of this offense. Ozzie Albies hit a homer. He had 2 RBIs as well. Austin Riley with 2 hits. Matt Olson with 2 hits. Marcell Ozuna with a homer. And then other than that, the rest of the lineup didn't really do that much in terms of hitting the ball other than Orlando Arcia and Michael Harris. But those 2 guys at the bottom of the lineup, Arcia and Harris, had a huge series in Pittsburgh. We're going to go over the following 3 games after. But really, those 3 guys fed the top when Acuna, Albies, Riley, Olson, d'Arnaud played a lot in the series. All of those guys were driving in runs and flipping that lineup card over, and that has an effect on the pitchers. The Pirates, even though they were able to split the series with the best team in baseball, they used a lot of pitchers, and that's testament to the Braves offense. But overall, just a little bit too much starting pitching trouble for Spencer Strider to get past 3 innings. He lasted 2 2/3, and ultimately that's what cost us game 1. And you'll see that is going to be a recurring theme here throughout the entire series. But in game 2, it shifts to a Braves win. Kevin Pillar, he's been asked to do a lot of things he hasn't done yet in his career so far. When he was playing with the Mets, when he was playing with the Toronto Blue Jays, he was playing an everyday outfield position, often center field. He's playing left field with us because we have Michael Harris in center. But we know he's a terrific defensive outfielder. And he's been playing every day for most of his career, even with the Giants when he was there as well. But with the Braves, he's been more reserve role, not playing as much. But Snit threw him out there twice this series when there was a lefty on the mound to pinch hit for Eddie. And here it was the right decision. He comes through after Marcell Ozuna grounds out, leaving a runner stranded at third with 2 outs left, or sorry, with less than 2 outs. Then Kevin Pillar comes up, delivers a clutch 2-out RBI single to tie the game at 6 apiece. Orlando Arcia then doubles down the left field line past the diving third baseman, Ke'Bryan Hayes. And then you get the lead 8-6 off one of the better closers in baseball, David Bednar. Obviously, he doesn't get a lot of market attention in TV analysis because he's on the Pirates, but he's been really good. He had a string. I don't remember exactly the number, but he had a string of more than going 2.5 weeks without a blown save. And the Braves put 3 on the board in the 9th to stun the Pirates 8-6 and get the win off after a really, honestly, letdown loss after Spencer Strider's rough outing. Now, in the second game, I already mentioned the bottom of the lineup in the first game, but you had Orlando Arcia with 3 hits, 3 RBIs, add a homer to that as well. Michael Harris with 2 hits. Eddie Rosario with a hit. Ozuna had a hit. Travis d'Arnaud had 3 hits. You got Olson with a homer, Ozzy with a hit, and then Ronald Acuna homered as well on the very first pitch of the ball, on the very first at bat of the ball game. Sorry, the second pitch of the ball game on a 1-0 count. So when you've got these guys hitting the lineup, we're going to say it again. You're never out of a game, and the Braves starting pitchers realize that. Now, obviously, they're going to want to have a better outing than what they did. Yonny Chirinos, after a great outing last time, he got through 5 innings, but you obviously don't want to see 6 runs in 5 innings. But he got the bullpen some rest because he went those 5 innings, and sure enough, the Braves bullpen was able to hold the Pirates still. Like I said before, it was the starting pitching really that only concerned me. The bullpen and the offense were great in my opinion. So the bullpen did their job, held the Pirates shut for the latter part of the game, and they let the Braves offense slowly chip away, and then boom, in the 9th inning against one of the better closers in baseball, Kevin Pillar, Orlando Arcia, Michael Harris, these guys come through, and the Braves get the win. In the third game of the series, this was another more late heroics by the Braves. Now, while not a 9th inning comeback, in the 8th inning, Austin Riley hits a pop-up, really a routine pop-up that I didn't think would score Michael Harris from third base with 1 out. But Ron Washington and his aggressive sends, he's going to want to get that run more times than not and send the runner home. And with a speedy guy with Michael Harris, I don't blame you. So if I'm Ron Washington, I'm looking towards right field, right? I'm seeing the second baseman backpedal and catch this ball. And I remember when Michael Harris was being interviewed, he said, Wash said to him, run, because the second baseman should never get that ball. The right fielder should have every right to call the second baseman off because his momentum is carrying him towards the plate. Now the second baseman, he's backing up. He's backpedaling. He can't get as much momentum on this throw with his weight leaning backwards. So at that point, that's when Wash said to himself, okay, I'm going to send this. It's a tie game. Let's see what happens. Michael Harris it was a good throw, but Michael Harris just beats out the throw, and the Braves end up scoring 6-5. And Rice Iglesias shuts the door in the bottom of the 9th. But man, that play definitely was nerve-wracking because Triolo backed up, and through that I said, oh my goodness, Wash is going to send him, and he did. And I thought he was out real time. I really did. But when they called him safe and Michael Harris came home, I just said, that's Ron Washington for you. And I really am stopped questioning Ron Washington decisions because a lot of the time in the playoffs, especially against the Dodger series in the 2021 when we won the World Series, Eddie Rosario being sent, Travis d'Arnaud, there were plays that I would never send a runner going around third base going home. But he doesn't. And more time than not, it works. So I'm putting faith in Ron Washington out of anybody in the coaching staff on the Braves for sure when it comes to third base coaching. Now, if we go to the last game of the series, again, tough outing for Bryce Elder, but he gets the 5 innings. And we needed that because I know Jeff Francoeur was saying it on the broadcast. The Braves bullpen this series has been taxed with Max Fried short outing, with Spencer Strider short outing. Chirinos and Elder, while they didn't necessarily have great outings, 5 earned runs in 5 innings, 6 earned runs in 6 innings, in 5 innings, not the best thing you want to see. But Bryce Elder, he's been able to give them some length, and it really wasn't the type of start where you go, oh my goodness, he's had so much traffic on the bases every inning, high stress pitches. It really wasn't that type of outing. Every single game, it seemed like, especially for Max Fried, Spencer Strider, and Bryce Elder, there was one inning that really threw their start off the rails. Elder was cruising through 2 innings. Then the third inning hits a roadblock, and he couldn't really get over that. And it forced him into some difficult situations. He was able to last 2 innings after that, but it really wasn't the recipe that you want to see, because when you have a big inning like that or a bad inning like that in the playoffs, you're going to need to try and end that as soon as possible. But the Braves in this series couldn't really do that. Max Fried, Spencer Strider, and Bryce Elder all struggled getting past that, limiting to 2 runs that inning. Every inning, it seemed like, which was the trouble inning, would be 3, 4, 5 runs even, in the case for Strider start. So the Braves starters are definitely going to have to work on that come October, because it's really important, especially when you've got guys who are going to be at bat. They're going to change their approach. And I know people may not like it, but no matter what happens in the playoffs, your mindset changes. You don't go up there trying to hit a homer every time. Now, obviously, players are going to say that in the regular season, that they're not trying to go up there and hit a home run every time. But in the playoffs, everything's just in your face, and you need to be current and present in the moment. And I think that changes in the playoffs. So when you're gonna have to be able to get out of that inning, because people are gonna people are gonna hit bloopers, 70-mile-per-hour hits over the third baseman's head, over the first baseman's head. You've got to limit those to spread them out and not get caught in one inning of some unlucky contact. And unfortunately, the Braves pitchers were not able to do that this series. As we got OG Truth joining us. OG, what did you think of the Pirates series overall this past week?
I mean, it's just, listen, I mean, it all boils down to, man, when you're the best team in baseball, when you're the best team in any sport, you're going to get everybody else's best. That's what that boils down to. The Pirates played crazy, over-the-top baseball.
They did.
It was a whole lot of stuff went on. It was a whole lot of plots and subplots in that series. You had starting pitching got shelled. You had relievers blowing saves. You had clutch ninth inning hitting. You had good base running. You had bad base running. So it was just one of them four. It was just one of them 4-game series. And it's the dog days of August, Mikey. I know a lot of people in the fan base probably just losing their shit right now, but it's the dog days of August. I'm not concerned. I know a lot of people probably start bringing up that we should have brought in a 1 or a 2 starter at the trade deadline. Baseball is a real strange game. You play 162 dates. Listen, on to the Mets. I mean, what can we say? Like I say, you're going to get everybody's best. And, hey, look, we done lost what, 4 out of 7 games? Okay, so what?
Yeah, we're under 500 for the All-Star break. Right now, I think we are 12-13 after the All-Star break.
Okay, all right. The sky's not falling. I mean, hey, those guys are going to get back into that rhythm again. And you can tell the Braves are a rhythm team. They're going to get back into the rhythm again. And they could probably – listen, anytime – it seems like it's like clockwork. Anytime – the couple of times this year when the Braves needed a slump buster, who was on the mound?
Who was on the mound? Max Fried.
Are you sure? Morton. Charlie Morton.
Those are the first 2 that comes to mind for me.
Yep. Charlie Morton seems like he's the guy that takes the heel whenever he's a slump buster. So let's see if he's a slump buster tonight, because he got the rock tonight, right?
Yeah, Charlie Morton going against Tyler McGill in the first series of the Mets. And like I mentioned before, 4 games in 3 days and 3 more games with no off day when we come back to face the Yankees. So the bullpen is going to need some rest. So hopefully we get some length out of our starters over the next 7 days.
Yeah, 6 days. I mean, just listen, man, give me 18 outs. You know, get me into the
Yep.
seventh inning. Give me
Mhm.
18 out. And Charlie usually good with that.
He
Now,
is usually.
some outings, Charlie's stubborn now. He old head. He don't want to walk folks. So sometimes he's gonna leave stuff out over the plate, and he may give up. Give up a big fly. But Charlie usually keep it. He don't let the game get out of hand. At
That's
worst,
what.
you may
Oh, sorry.
go
Go
ahead.
ahead. Go ahead.
No, at worst you may get Charlie for 4. Other
That's
than
what
that,
was so weird of his previous start because he was walking. I believe he walked the bases loaded in his last start.
yeah,
So
his
weird.
stuff wasn't on.
Nah,
Yeah,
what'd you say?
no, his stuff. He just wasn't. Listen, man. Sometimes you ain't gonna have your best stuff, and
Right.
that's when the walks happen. And then when the home runs come is when you get frustrated because because you don't have your best stuff, and you sit one on the teeth for one of these powerful young hitters. There's some powerful young hitters in the game right now, Mikey.
Oh yeah, and we got one of them.
Yeah, absolutely. We got an anomaly. That guy's an anomaly. Anomaly. You know what I'm saying? But he's a different dude.
Oh yeah.
One of him come every 30 years. The way he
Blackberry.
plays the game.
That's a fact, bro. That's a fact.
Yes,
How's it
sir.
going? Blackberry, you get to watch the Pirates series this past week?
Did I?
Yeah,
Yes, I watched.
You watched? Yeah. What were your overall thoughts on it?
I got a question. I see. I'm not. I see. When it comes to baseball, I'm watching more of as a fanatic than I am as an analyzing fan. Right.
Okay. All right.
So it's things when y'all point stuff out, like especially Mikey, when y'all get in depth with the pitching, and I just and I ain't trying to say y'all make excuses. That ain't what I'm saying for y'all, because I know Charles said he ready to dump down my damn throat. I'm not trying to say y'all make excuses.
No, I'm not. I'm not.
But I'm kind of at my wit's end, man, with this bullpen. Is it just me, or do some need to change?
The bullpen?
The bullpen or the starters?
Yeah.
The bullpen.
What?
The bullpen been almost.
Wait, our bullpen was good this series.
Yeah, I think the only run we gave up was Colin McHugh when he gave up that solo shot the other night.
So
they was good this series, yes.
Oh, okay.
The Pirates series, yes, they was good.
Okay.
The Pirates series, they was good.
Are you talking about the Cubs series?
The Cubs series, the whole staff looked like shit against the Cubs. I mean, the starters and the bullpen.
So in the Pirates series, it was like, okay, can we keep this? Can we keep that up with the bullpen? But the cycle has been they'll look good one series, the next series they go to shit. They give up these late runs, they give up these mid inning runs, and it's like our bats. It's like, can they get a damn break from the bullpen? Now the Pirates series, okay, they got a break. They got a break from the bullpen. Screw up.
Now, I'm gonna tell you what the bullpen did for us in the Pirates series is, like, especially in 2 of those games.
We were able to win 2 of them because of the bullpen.
The bullpen held it right there. When the starters had let them get out there on us, the bullpen just held them right there and just let the bats walk them down. Just let the bats just walk them down. Bats and base runner walk them down. But no, I feel you on that, Blackberry. The bullpen has been a little inconsistent. Even though overall for the season, the bullpen numbers look good. If you look at the overall season numbers, they look good. They just right at a little bit under 3.5, 3.5. That may be kind of high for a bullpen, but they right at 3 ERA, right at 3.5. We haven't blown too many saves. We've blown some, but we haven't blown as much as the average team. So no, I get what you're saying. That can be frustrating. That can be frustrating as a fan. No, it can't.
In the Pirates series, what what I seen, Mikey, was it kind of felt like Schnick just kind of let these guys do what they, he let them pitch to their strengths. Now, is it just me, or sometimes he doesn't let them pitch to their strengths? It's like the catcher in some of these guys in the bull. I'm trying to get some guys' names out. I can't get the damn name.
You okay?
Y'all know how I am with names. But
Okay.
it just seemed like to me a lot of times Schnick get to where he wants them to do certain things, and they're not capable of doing it. They're not like this. Is it just me, or is that change up with your boy? The one that we was real high on him most of the season. Then he done had a little bit of a yes.
Bryce Elder?
Is it just me, or is it that Elder's change up just don't look like it did some weeks back?
No, he missing on his location.
Yeah. I was about to say that. Yeah, he's
missing on his location.
He's leaving the ball up, which for a sinker baller and a guy who, Bryce Elder doesn't throw hard. He's going to sit 89, 91 on that fastball / sinker, whatever you want to call it. It's not a turbo sinker, but it's a sinker. So when you're throwing the ball up and you got breaking stuff that he has that breaks so much, and you're leaving the ball up to the middle of the zone a little bit,
it's gonna get put in the parking lot, bro. If you don't have that, see, Bryce ain't got one of them big arms. He ain't got a Strider arm. So, because Strider's arm, with his arm, with his velo get him out of trouble. But when you ain't got velo, you got to locate. That's what made Greg Maddux so great. He didn't have velo, so he located. Bryce in his last 2 starts been missing with his location. He's been leaving it up. You can leave it up, man. Shoot, hey man, hey look, 89 and 91. That's BP to major league players. It's fast as hell to me or you, but that's BP to major league players, and they're losing it. He just got to work on his location.
Yeah, because I don't think it's a problem with the stuff itself. I mean, his mechanics. I mean,
he got good stuff.
His mechanics.
Is there. He's just missing on.
The breaking stuff is still breaking, but for me, it's just he's leaving pitches up, and as a sinker baller, you can't really do that.
You can't leave that up, bro. He said it on the tee. He said it on the tee. Man, he set one on the tee for a dude. Look, that's how. Now when Dansby kind of went down and got his he actually made a good pitch to Dansby.
Yeah, he did.
Dansby went down and got it.
That's tip your cap type of moment right there.
Yeah, he did. But guess what? That's what Dansby did with us. He hit homers like that, but Dansby hit a lot of bad pitches. Mm-hmm. Like he hit a lot of pitches out of the zone.
That's what Ozzie does too.
Yeah, and so Dansby went down and got it. But hey, let me tell you something. Hey, you never know, man. It could be a lot of these guys. Some of these guys having personal shit going on that we don't know about, but they still got to go out there and play. And they go out there and listen. Hey, your location be messed up, or if you're at the plate, your hand-eye coordination be off. But 162 games, and then the majority of it in heat, you're gonna have slumps. Now, with that being said, I understand Blackberry's frustration.
Yeah.
God damn it.
Warranted.
But I want to hear that shit. I want to hear that shit in October about no slump.
And I'm telling you,
we can't go out here and win.
Bro, we got to get this shit dipped in the bud.
Yeah. Listen.
Before October.
Yeah. We can't go out there and win 105 and 110 games and go home in the divisional playoff.
No,
that's not gonna look good.
Can't do that. And here's the thing. I do think we'll turn around. I mean, for the better part of the year, the Braves have had the number 1 starting staff in baseball ERA wise. Before the All-Star break, we were without Max Fried and still without Kyle right now, but we were without him, and we still had the best ERA in baseball in terms of
I don't know how the fuck we did that. I'm trying to figure out how we did that.
I know, right? But in the second half, we have the second worst team starter ERA. You know who's last? The Pirates. So there's something that we have to. I think in order to move on to the series tonight, if you're the Braves and you're Charlie Morton, you got to flush that series. You got to put it behind you. You're not worrying about oh no, I can't do what I did last time. You just got to fix ahead what you can control, what's in front of you. And for Charlie tonight, that's all I want him to do. I want him to get his normal 5-6 innings. He may give up a solo shot or two, but I'm hoping for a good, solid, quality start. You know, those three run 6 inning starts where you'll let up a homer or two, maybe a double and a single here or there, but overall a quality start. That's what I'm looking for Charlie Morton tonight to kind
Charlie,
of.
Charlie this year, the first 2 slumps we had. It's like our 3rd slump. The first 2 slumps, he was the slump buster, and like clockwork. And all of them, you know what's crazy? All of them were on Friday night too.
Actually,
because we talked about it. Listen, it was the 2 times we was talking about a slump. We was doing the show, and Charlie Morton was the slump buster. Charlie ain't finna. Charlie for 40 years old, so he ain't finna blow you away with a 99 mile an hour fastball. He could probably run it up there about 95, 96.
He can get 97. He's gotten 97 in a couple starts this year.
You know, but Charlie trying to throw that old school goddamn curveball. Sometimes that some bitch he throw it. Sometimes he leave it across the plate. Sometimes he leave it across the plate and they hit it to the parking lot. But then sometimes it be back there in the backstop and everything. So he the slump buster. Well, let's see if he can slump buster. But you know it's the Mets now, and you know, listen, hey, at this point, this series might be the World Series for the Mets because they out of it.
Yeah. No matter what, the Mets always play the Braves with their, you know, with the fire because it's just a rivalry. So
the Mets would like nothing better than to sweep the Braves right now.
Mm-hmm.
That'll be good for them because their season is over. Their season is highest payroll in baseball. Highest payroll in baseball, and their season is over. They done sent Verlander back to Houston.
Mm-hmm.
That's crazy.
It is. It's crazy. And hold on. I did want to speak on one quick thing before we move on to the Mets series. In yesterday, in the last game against the Pirates, Matt Olson hit his 40th home run and already over 100 RBIs on the season. To put that into perspective, I mean, this guy's tied with Shohei Ohtani in the league homers right now. They're gonna have a race down the stretch of the season. I don't remember the last Brave, or even if there was a Brave at all, to lead the league in single season home runs. I don't remember ever seeing that stat. If there was, I'm gonna double check that. But do you guys know? Has there ever been a Brave who's led the league in single?
What was Ozuna numbers during the COVID year? Ozuna was right there or close to it.
I think he was. But I gotta look at that.
Ozuna was pretty damn. I think he was.
Ozuna was the MVP candidate, but that was Freddie's MVP year, right?
Yeah. Marcel was second or third. I don't remember.
Yeah. What did Adam Duvall do? World Series year. What was his numbers? I know he led the league in something. I don't want to say led the league in RBIs. Did he not?
Matt Olson's leading the league in RBIs right now.
Well, he's gonna run away with RBIs. Ain't nobody gonna catch him in RBIs. He won't get caught in RBIs. Right now, the question is who's gonna win the home run thing overall between him and Shohei. But he won't get caught in RBIs. Wait a minute. How many RBIs Shohei got?
Let me check that.
Matt got some crazy number.
He's got 83.
What he at? Oh, he go. Yeah, yeah.
And he won't get caught in RBI. Matt got some crazy. Matt, really, if you want to know the truth, the MVP race in the National League gonna come down between Matt, Ronnie, and Freddie.
Yep, it's gonna be Matt, Ronnie, and Freddie. And I don't think right now. I think
Freddie's numbers crazy, bro. Freddie's numbers crazy.
They're really good. Yeah.
Yeah.
But I think Ronald still has a pretty firm grasp on it right now. But if Matt Olson keeps playing like this, oh my goodness.
But see, Ronnie doing some historic shit though. Like Ronnie,
I know. Trust me, I know. But he's before this past 2.5 week tear that Matt Olson's been on with the home run ball. He's been. We know Ronald had the MVP, but now it might be a race Ronald might win. Ronald's gonna win probably, but he might make it a race between him, Freddie, and Matt Olson right now because just what he's doing is absurd.
Ronald.
The only thing I don't want to happen is I don't want Matt to be chasing. I don't want him to be chasing that home run title and to be chasing that MVP, and he end up falling into one of them slumps. Because y'all know he can fall into one of them hitting slumps.
Oh, he can, yeah.
He can fall into some.
I just don't want him to be chasing it and take his eye off what matters the most, and that's just
you know what? It's kind of time for him to have a slump. If he gonna have it, let's go get it out of the way now. Let's go get it out of the way now before September hit, and then so he can go on into the home stretch. But Ronnie, what the shit Ronnie about to do? Ronnie about to hit 30, drive in 100, and steal 80 bases.
80.
30 driving 100. It's still 80 crazy, bases. Bro. He about to lead the league in run scored by $1 million. Yeah, it's gonna be hard. And hold on, wait a minute now. One more thing, your boy's slumping bad down in Florida. The leading hitter, what's Ruiz
Luis Ariz.
He is falling. He's slumping bad.
Oh, really?
He slumped. The last I checked, he had a slump. He done got down into the 360s. Running like 340, 345.
Yeah, you're right. Luis Ariz is at 360 right now, 369.
Yeah. Listen, Ronnie about to walk him. If Ronnie walk him down for that, you lead the league in hitting, stolen bases, and you hit 30 and drive in 100, and probably score about a 150. That might be one of the greatest seasons ever by anybody.
I need to look up the Marlins' next opponents. I need to look up, see who they got coming up. Because if he can, like you saying, he can walk them down in the next month or two. In the next month, not two, but in the next month.
Let's see what's going on. MVP, Ronnie, his batting average wise, he's staying right there between 340 and 350. But Arias he's slumping bad. I
don't think Ronnie. Well, Ronnie's at 340 right now, but what's funny is Ronald will go 0 for 5 one game, and people will say, "Oh, the up 0 for 5 game for Acuna. Geez, he's in a slump." And then the next thing you know, he's going to hit a homer and get 3 hits and 2 RBIs and 3 runs scored and a stolen base the next game. It's so funny.
Yeah,
He that kid there is. Listen, man.
He's a comeback kid, man.
The Braves got. I'm gonna tell y'all something, man. Y'all Braves really got something working, because all them folks, all their horses are young. All their horses young.
Yes.
Acuna, Albies, Riley, Olson still young.
Olson not even 30 yet.
Yeah, Olson still young. Arcia not 30. Michael Harris, Spencer Strider, Kyle Wright. Max, what Max just turned 30?
Yeah, hopefully he stays here next year, but yeah.
No, they look at what
I know.
Listen, the one good thing about seeing how bad our pitching is now we know we can't let him walk.
No.
Because what's the deal with Soroka? He keep going back and forth to Gwinnett. What's going on?
He's not even starting this Mets series. We're going to bring up Alan Winans and start him again in the
That's
second. That's
starting to concern me about Soroka. Has he injured something else? Because a lot of times when you come back from an injury like that, you wound up injuring something else because you're being a little too careful, a little too delicate. I hope he hasn't done that.
Hopefully not. But yeah, he
didn't look bad. His 3 or 4 starts that he made, he didn't look bad at all. Didn't he lead one game? He had went like 7 and only gave up a run.
He did that in Gwinnett, but I don't know if he's done that in with the Braves. I don't remember that.
Well, maybe Sneak just don't want to put too much on him, so too fast. He's out for a
It could be
long
that
time.
because I'm gonna be honest with y'all. I believe they were resting Max. I don't believe Max was hurt that long. Max was out 91 days, man. For a strained calf? No, come on now.
They want to make sure they got these guys for October, man. That's what I think. They want to make sure they got Soroka and Max for October.
Well, we need
Well, I don't think
right.
Soroka's going to be on October roster. I'd love to see him, but right now I don't think it's looking like it. But yeah, the Braves.
We need Kyle Wright. That's the mystery.
That's what we really need. The Braves right now. You'd be for me. I'll say I'd be lying if I just was said, okay, it's 4 bad starts. Who cares? Throw them out. I'm a little bit worried about the starting pitching, but I know that Spencer Strider and Charlie Morton, especially, they have not had those type of years where we should be concerned like they're going to do that 2 or 3 times in a row. Bryce Elder's had too good of a season for me to just say he's forgotten about it. So I'm putting past numbers into perspective here. Yes, after the All-Star break, I am a little bit worried about the starting pitching. The bullpen, the offense, I think are going to be fine. But Max Fried, I have full faith in him. Spencer Strider, Charlie Morton, Bryce Elder, those are the guys that I'm like, okay, we know we've seen the numbers you put up for the first part of the season. I know what you're capable of. Let's see you do that in the second half as well, leading into the playoffs to get that right mindset going into October.
So you don't think we'll have Soroka in October?
Start a game? No. Maybe in the bullpen we'll have him, but I think if we had to have our 5-man rotation in the playoffs, which not a lot of teams do, by the way. Not a lot of teams carry.
No. In the playoffs, most teams cut it down to their main 3 horses. They go through their main 3 horses, and they put them other two guys in the bullpen.
Yeah, exactly. You'll definitely have Max, Strider, and Charlie Morton. Oh, those 3. Definitely.
Well, Sneak had a lot. Sneak went with a lot of bullpen games.
He did at the beginning of the season, yeah. And
Yeah.
we lost 5 of those.
No, that's how Snit won that 21 World Series. We won 3 bullpen games in the playoffs.
Yeah, that's true.
Which is crazy, by the way. That does not normally happen.
And the biggest starter that whole postseason, believe it or not, was Drew Smiley in L.A.
Ah.
You don't remember the day game we played in L.A.?
Oh, I hate that.
And Drew Smiley went out there and gave them 6 tough innings, bro. Drew Smiley, I remember that.
And then, yeah, that was a huge start. So
that was a huge start.
That's in the postseason though. You get unsung heroes, and they they get into sung heroes in the postseason, if you want to put it that way. So
let me nobody listen.
A lot of
time. Right now, Tyler Massick will never be forgotten for what he did against the Dodgers.
Nope, never. That's still the biggest I'm him performance I've seen in the playoffs in Atlanta sports since I've been alive.
Oh, bro, they're gonna do a movie. They're gonna do a movie on that team. I'm pretty sure they already got it in the works. They're gonna do a whole movie on that team, bro.
Listen, do y'all remember that Dodger lineup? That Dodger lineup was a murderer's row.
Mm-hmm.
Massick stared them down with the bases loaded, nobody out, and got out of it.
Insane stuff. But let's quickly preview this Mets series a little bit. So, like I said before, 4 games, 3 days. We got a doubleheader mixed in there tonight. We got Tyler McGill opposing us, and for some reason, Tyler McGill seems to pitch so well against the Braves almost every single time out, but he struggles against everybody else. He's like the opposite of Eric Fetty for the Nationals. So what do we need to do to finally get Tyler McGill tonight?
Well, hopefully it's something different than what they did the first couple of times they faced him. That's for starters.
Right now, we only got one guy in the lineup batting over 300 against Tyler McGill, and that's well, actually they're tied. It's Travis d'Arnaud, Marcell Ozuna, and Orlando Arcia.
What's his best pitch?
Tyler McGill got a really good 12-6 curveball.
I get ready to say it's got to be off speed. Hey, listen. That's what give us problems. There's somebody throwing off speed. Eric Fetty, he throw off speed, don't he?
Eric Fetty, we destroy Eric Fetty.
Oh, okay.
I'm saying the opposite. I said the opposite.
Okay, the opposite. Okay. Yeah, okay. Them change of pace guys, that's what listen, you can't throw heat past the Braves. And that's what a lot of teams do. They try to throw heat past the Braves, and what's gonna happen is you're gonna be on ESPN, bro. Because the Braves, they hit them far too.
So you saying we got a gang of Pujols on the damn squad? Because
bro, let me tell you something.
That joker Pujols hit 120-mile-per-hour fastball.
Listen, back in the early to mid '80s, the Milwaukee Brewers had a murderer's row lineup, and their manager's name was Harvey Kane, and they called them some bitches Harvey's Wallbangers. And when I tell you that's what they was doing, boy, it would kind of remind you of when they first opened Coors Field, when everything was flying out of Coors Field. That's what the Braves are doing right now. Because Truist Park, I'm gonna call it what it is now. Truist Park is one of the easiest parks in the major leagues to get one out on now.
Especially right field.
The ball flies out of there.
Mm-hmm.
That's how Little Mike. Well, I call him Little Mike. That's how Michael Harris improved his draft stock. See, the Braves were looking at. They were recruiting Mikey as a left-handed pitcher. Mikey brought it like 92, 93 from the left side. That's what he was known mostly for in travel ball.
It's crazy.
He was just in travel ball, Mikey was just a guy who was a hell of a pitcher, but that could hit. Nobody really paid attention to his outfield. I knew he could do it because I practically watched him come up through the ranks. But what happened was the Braves was looking to possibly as a possibility in rounds. I want to say rounds 8 through 12. Then 2 days before the draft, he went down to Truist, or at the time it was SunTrust, that he got 12 pitches. He put 8 of them over the chop house.
Wow.
Well, now things changed a little bit.
Yeah.
I tell you what, we're gonna take you in round 3, and you're gonna be a two-way player. So he was a two-way player in Rome. Y'all didn't know that, did you?
Nah, I didn't.
Yeah, he was a two-way player in Rome.
I didn't know that.
Wow.
Yes, he started out being a two-way player, and then he just went head on and just went straight to outfield. Yeah.
I'd like to see him get on the mound one time.
Yeah, he can throw that.
I would definitely say that.
Listen, I put it to you like this: if they ever get in a blowout game and Snit don't want to burn no pitching, I guarantee you that's where he going. If he don't want to burn another pitcher, if Mikey's still on the field, he gonna put Mikey up there.
That's
Y'all
crazy.
think you think they get with him with pitching sometimes in practice? You think they got him pitching in practice?
I'm pretty sure they done probably discussed it. I'm pretty sure they done discussed it. That
I don't know.
But let me tell you something. You got to think about it, man. A lot of those guys coming up were pitchers. A lot of your top major league prospects were pitchers. One of the best right-handed arms in the state of Georgia in 2018, and he was a top 5 shortstop in the country, was Justin Fields. He just happened to play football a little bit better, or football was where he was gonna make his money at.
Interesting.
Yeah, Justin Fields, one of the top shortstops in the state. DJ Shockley, he brought it. He used to bring it in the early to mid '90s, coming from the right side. I grew up and played with and against Marquise Grissom. I never saw Marquise Grissom play center field. The only place I ever saw Marquise at was at pitcher and shortstop. Pitcher and shortstop. Hey, if your kid plays pitcher and shortstop, he's 9 times out of 10 the best player on the team.
That's two really important positions right there.
Yeah.
And different skill sets completely.
Grip was running at 98. He was running at 98 back in 1986. He was bringing up that 98. I saw 3 pitches from Grip. No, excuse me. He threw 3 pitches. I saw 1 of them. First 2 I didn't even see, bro. No, I take that back. I saw the first one. I closed my eyes and swung at the second one. I fouled it off. That third one, bro, I
Sound
just
like
look
you
back at it.
pissed your ass on. You pissed you out your damn sense.
Let me tell you something. I had one at bat against him because he was a year ahead of me. I had one at bat. We laugh about this every time I see him. I had one at bat against him, and I pitched against him one time. Now, the one time that I pitched against him, I threw him 4 pitches.
Okay.
He fouled the first one off. He was late on it, so I thought I was a badass. I said I got him late.
On your question, go, Mikey. My bad, Jones. Go ahead.
No. I'm gonna finish it, then we go back to it. The second one, I tried to muscle up, and he pulled that bitch about 462 feet foul. So I passed it down the left field line. So that third one actually was 3 pitches. I say I got him. Because back then he was a rock star in school. He was the great Marquise Grissom. Like, he had news media following him. Bro, I tried to throw him a 12-6. Let me tell you something. He hit that son bitch so far. Listen, hey, about 30 feet behind the left field fence foul line over at old MD Collins High School. Anybody who know about MD Collins High School know where that field is. It was an old house, an old rundown house. He hit the top of that house, and there was an old lady came out raising hell because he hit the top of that house. Marquise hit that ball probably about 430 feet.
Jeez, in high school, it's crazy.
Pitcher career over. I told him I'm gonna sue him because he scarred me.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
Wow.
I told Grip I'm gonna sue him. I said, bro, I'm gonna sue you, bro. You scarred me.
That is crazy. But if y'all were gonna give one key to this series against the Mets after let's say subpar performance in Pittsburgh, what are you gonna say? We'll start with BlackBerry and then go to OG.
Say it again.
If you were to give one key to winning this series against the Mets, now remember it's a 4-game series because we got a doubleheader tomorrow.
Right. I'm gonna say patience, man. Be patient on the mound. Be patient on the mound. I know this pitch count. I know it's got. Hopefully they're used to it by now. The catches.
Our relievers hate that pitch count shit. They hit your boy the other night with a ball. He was hot. What's the dude's name? The dude that used to be a closer. The dude with the beard for the right side. He throw for the right side. He was hot. Yates. It was Yates.
Michael Tonkin?
No, it was Yates. He got hit with. Oh yeah, he was hot. He was hot with that dude when the umpire hit him with that ball. But yeah, go ahead, BlackBerry.
I was just gonna say, man, just try to be patient, stay patient up there, and for me, I think the bats will be there.
Yeah,
I think the bats gonna be all right. I just want to stay patient, man, on the mound. Don't get to where because these guys they gonna get like Mikey said. They for some reason against us they just hit. These Mets hit against these Braves. So. Oh no, man! Just stay patient out there on that mound, man. That's the best way I can put it. Yeah, I don't want Schnick, and I want Schnick to be patient with these pitchers. You know, if they start going through some shit out there, let them go through it. See if they can pitch their way through it. You know.
Well, it's funny. It's funny. BlackBerry is saying this because I was a little salty at Schnick game 2. Colin McHugh gave us 2 great innings in the 6th and in the 5th and the 6th. Then, or was the 5th and the 6th or the 6th and the 7th? Then he brought him and he ran him out there.
Colin McHugh in the second game. Now, so he
ran him out there for that 3rd inning and he gave up a solo shot. I'm like, Schnick, the dude had did what you needed him to do. He gave you 2 strong innings. Goddamn, Schnick, go with your next arm.
Yeah, McHugh gave us 2 2/3 and allowed up 1 homer.
Well, come on now. But hey, I ain't gonna give Schnick the business too much because Schnick, hey, I know a lot of people got their issues with Snit, but when I needed Snit to push the right buttons, he did.
Mm-hmm.
In 2021,
Yeah,
he pushed the right buttons when I needed him to.
that's true.
So I give him a pass on certain shit during the season.
At the end of the day, he's a World Series winning manager.
Yeah, so he did.
That's true.
Okay,
I say
he man. Hey,
I don't know
managed
why, man.
that man.
I get in my feelings with it, but like I said, man, when he does, it works. And when it matters, it works. So
Let me tell you something, bro.
I don't know, man.
He managed the hell out of that bullpen.
Man, just to see them.
Listen, Snit managed the hell out of that bullpen in 2021, and I'm gonna tell you who else. Hey, boy, Wash got some stones over there at third base, boy. He got some stones over there, boy.
Crazy.
Boy, it was so many bang bang plays at that plate in that Dodgers series. Like Wash won us 2 games in that series. It's crazy, man.
Yeah,
boy,
it's huge. And for me in this Mets series, it's gonna sound obvious, but it's a bounce back into starting pitching, and especially for Spencer Strider. And here's why: Spencer Strider struggles against the Mets for some reason. He just never seems to have a good start against the Mets. You know, the Mets, they don't have a lot of power, and they haven't had a good season offensively, but they'll fight off pitches. They don't go down swinging. They're not a high strikeout team. So
they got their Brandon Nimmo.
They're going to fight off pitches. Strider's got to stay in there, not realize, this might not be a 9-10 strikeout performance, but you want to still get those efficient pitches. You want to get to that 6th inning. You want to still keep it at 3 runs or less. So hopefully Strider can do that. Let's see a bounce back performance from Max Fried as well. Is he pitching in the series or the first game of the Yankees series? I can't remember. But if he does, I'm hoping for a bounce back performance from him, because what he did against the Cubs in that first game of the Cubs series last Friday, a week ago today, that's vintage Max Fried. And I know he can come back and do that again. So that's going to be my key. It's just bounce back starting pitching. Let's see if we can get some good mojo to go back home before we face the Yankees. Any last thoughts before we wrap it up, guys? Y'all there? All right. I think we're good. But with that being said, we're going to end it right there. Thanks for tuning in, guys, to Georgia Sports Nation tonight. Don't forget to check us out next week, Friday, 6 p.m. Eastern. More Hawks and Braves. We're getting closer and closer to Hawks preseason starting. So we're going to be getting into more Hawks content and discussing more of the roster and what we got for this upcoming season in the second season of trying Trey and DeJounte. So we'll see how that goes. Thanks for tuning in again.
Yes,
Don't
sir.
forget to like, comment, subscribe if you're on YouTube, and we'll see you guys next week. Peace.
See y'all. Peace.